In this video I'm going to explain how to solve or factor a trinomial that is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, which is the leading coefficient, does not equal 1. I'm going to be doing this using the grouping method. So an example of a trinomial that's in this form would be 12x squared plus 5x minus 2. So what we do, the first step we take is we multiply the a value times the c value, and that gives us the grouping number. Now, the grouping number for this trinomial will be 12 times negative 2, which is negative 24. And then what we do with negative 24 is we think what two numbers multiply to negative 24 that add up to this middle value, the b term. So to start, just find all the factors of negative 24. So 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. And any of those pairs of factors could have a one negative sign to give us a negative 24. Now, if we use 3 times 8, that gives us 24. Now we need negative 24, so let's make one of those values negative, and we want those numbers to add up to 5. So I'm going to use positive 8, negative 3. So what we do is take the trinomial 12x squared plus 5x minus 2, and then I split up that middle term so that I have positive 8x minus 3x minus 2. I'm just using these two numbers, 8 and negative 3, as the coefficients when I split that middle term. Then what we do is we separate or group the first two terms together, and then we factor the greatest common factor out of those first two terms. So between 12x squared and 8x, I could factor out 4x. We're left with 3x plus 2. On the right hand side, I could factor out a negative 1. That's the only common factor. I'm left with 3x plus 2. So what we have is 3x plus 2, 3x plus 2. I have the exact same factors here. So what happens is 3x plus 2 becomes one of the factors, and then the second factor is made up of 4x and negative 1. So 4x minus 1. So that would be the factored form for 12x squared plus 5x minus 2. Let's look at one more here. Let's do 35x squared minus 17x plus 2. Now here, again, this is a trinomial, 3 terms, tri, and the leading term is not 1. Okay, the leading term is 35. So what we do is multiply the leading term times 2, which is the c term, and we get 70. And then we want to say what two values multiply to 70 that add up to negative 17. Now what we're going to do is just list the factors of 70. 1 times 70, 2 times 35, 3 doesn't go in there, 4, 5, so 5 times 14, 6, 7 times 10, and then 8 and 9 don't go in there. So 7 times 10, that multiplies to 70. If I make both of those negative, that's going to add up to negative 17. So splitting this up, 35x squared. Now it doesn't matter whether I write negative 7x or negative 10x first. I'll just do negative 10x minus 7x plus 2. Separate this down the middle. On the left-hand side, I can factor out a 5x. I'm left with 7x minus 2. On the right-hand side, now let's say I don't see that anything factors. I'll just factor out a 1, and I'm left with negative 7x plus 2. Now these two binomials, they look like they're close to being the same. The problem is they have opposite signs. So what I'm going to do, instead of factoring out a positive 1, if I factor out a negative 1, that's going to change the signs inside, and now those binomials are the exact same. So the factored form is going to be 5x minus 1, and then 7x minus 2. And then we're done.